Rhaegar? Why they kill him like that? Did Jon just let Ghost go? Like, my boy ear missing and everything. God. Hello, my sweet summer children. Episode 4 was juicy as a summer peach, and I think it's my favorite episode of the season. And let me tell you why and what I think they're setting up for and just everything. Let's break down Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 4, titled The Last of the Starks. There's a lot we need to unpack, so boom. The episode starts out in Winterfell. They are burning the dead. There are these long goodbyes between Dany and Jorah, Theon and Sansa, Arya and Beric, Sam and Ed, Jon and Lyanna, and it's just sad. It really gives you the weight of what went down the episode before. Everyone was whining about not enough people dying, not enough people died, and the living beat the dead so easy, and it's just like, well, look, it really wasn't that easy. Like, look at all these people that died. I was crying during this whole entire scene. Sansa putting the Stark pin on Theon, that just kind of did it for me. Jon gave the speech like they were the men of the Night's Watch. But overall, this scene is meant to show us what we lost. At the feast, though, it's kind of quiet at first, and then people are celebrating. Gendry is trying to sniff out Arya, but Daenerys sniffs out Gendry first, and guys, she made him the Lord of Storm's End. She made him Lord Gendry Baratheon of Storm's End. He could literally march into Storm's End like Robert Come Again and rally any forces remaining in Storm's End and fight for whoever he chooses to fight for, which would be Daenerys, because Daenerys made him a lord. And then Gendry gets heartbroken by Arya. Arya was never gonna be Gendry's lady or anyone's lady. She's a faceless woman. But Daenerys has won Gendry's loyalty, and Sansa is appalled. Sansa at this point has no reason to be appalled. You would be dead if not for Daenerys. You all would be dead. Like, let's just go out of order because I can't control my feelings right now. Sansa is a traitor. For 3 years, I've taken that Sansa hater tag and worn it like a badge of honor, even though I'm not a Sansa hater, because I've always said that that girl is going to betray her family. I've said it for years. You cannot trust her, and she would betray her family. And looky. She did. She betrayed Jon. I have some bets I'm about to collect on. Tony, Kyle, where y'all at? Anyway, so Sansa had a good point about letting the armies rest. Yeah, she did. But Jon took his family into the Godswood. Mind you, the Godswood is the most sacred place in Winterfell. It's equivalent to a church. And he said, you have to swear never to tell another soul. And guess what Sansa did? She told another soul. The Godswood, the Heart Tree, family, that shit is supposed to mean something to the Starks. Literally, the Greyjoy ships, knowing that Dany was coming to Dragonstone, might not be a coincidence. Sansa could have sent a raven. Or maybe it was Varys, I don't know. But Sansa's a traitor. Expect nothing from her and you will never be disappointed. Also, Jon is an idiot for even telling Sansa. Jon and Arya have this phrase in the books, and don't tell Sansa. He's just like Ned, like honorable to a fault. But even still, Ned was able to keep that one secret. Jon, damn! So a lot of people are giving Daenerys shit about her being crazy. So let me tell you something, and let me tell you right now. If Daenerys burns King's Landing to the ground, I will not give one single fuck. After the shit I seen tonight, she needs to burn that entire city, scour that bitch clean like a cast iron skillet that hasn't been cleaned in 10 years. Dracarys. Now, people are upset because Dany told Jon, no, Dany begged Jon not to tell anyone else who he is. Now, this may seem unfair. Like, why should she make Jon suppress who he is? That's not right. All she cares about the throne. But that's not it. They love each other, and telling other people will rip them apart. Daenerys knows this. She's been playing the game longer, way longer than Jon. Jon was in the north with wildlings at the wall and stuff. He doesn't know how to play the Game of Thrones. He doesn't know how vicious it is. Daenerys knows. And Daenerys knew that when other people found out that he had a claim to the throne better than hers, that they would decide they wanted him to be king. And that shit would rip them apart, whether he wanted to be king or not. Daenerys was right. He shouldn't have told Sansa. He shouldn't have told anyone else. This could be the betrayal for love right here, because he loved his family. He felt like he had to tell them, and he betrayed her after she begged him not to. And as you can see, Varys is already plotting against Daenerys, and so is Sansa. And no one is even taking into consideration what Jon wants, and Jon doesn't want to be king. But before we go further, let's go back to the feast at Winterfell. So Bran and Tyrion talk about the saddle that Tyrion designed him back in season 1. But Bran says something weird, like he always is saying weird shit. But he says he mostly lives in the past. Like, what does that mean? Are you reliving things? To what end or what purpose is it that you're living in the past? Is Bran like from the future and in the past right now? I don't understand. We know he's seen glimpses of the future, so he's hiding something, or is he just like a glorified historian? Because we did see him see the Sept blow up with wildfire. So at the feast, Daenerys feels isolated, like everyone there has friends and they love each other, and she's alone in a strange place, and she's used to being celebrated and loved, and she doesn't feel that in Winterfell. She doesn't feel welcome in Winterfell, although she's given up a lot to win the respect and loyalty of the people of Westeros. So Sansa gets reunited officially with the Hound, and he learns she's changed quite a bit. Yeah, she changed. She went from a little bird to a mockingbird. Yeah, she's Littlefinger now. Jaime and Brienne hook up, and Tormund is just distraught about it. Literally, him crying to the Hound was so hilarious. So when there's this war council, we find out the plan. Sansa's in the room when we find out the plan, by the way. Cersei has Euron in the Golden Company. Daenerys has lost half of the Unsullied, all of the Dothraki or not, because it seems Grey Worm says that they just lost half of their army, not just half of the Unsullied. Because I do see like a Dothraki commander there in the back, and there are some Dothraki in the preview, but there is a new Prince of Dorne, and who the fuck is he? Like, where did he come from? I digress. So hopefully Yara will arrive with the Dornish army. But the plan is for Daenerys to go by sea to Dragonstone and Jon to go by land down the King's Road. So Jaime and Tyrion are drinking, and Bronn shows up, not to kill, but to ask for a better castle than the one that Cersei promised him, because Riverrun, I mean, who wants that shit when they could have Highgarden? So Bronn is promised Highgarden. So who really thought Bronn was going to switch sides on the Lannister boys? Not me. But the good thing is now Jaime knows that Cersei wants him dead for real, for real. Like, Cersei sent Bronn to kill you, Jaime. Get yourself together. So Arya ends up leaving Winterfell with the Hound. They both say they have unfinished business. You know what that unfinished business is? The Hound wants to kill the Mountain, and Arya wants to kill Cersei. Green eyes. Cersei has green eyes, guys. Arya knows exactly how to get into King's Landing through the tunnels. We've seen her do it in season 1. I feel like that was all a setup for something. Honestly, if it was me, seriously, they should have all just stayed in Winterfell and giving the killing of Cersei job to the faceless woman, Arya Stark. I mean, hello. You have a fucking faceless assassin right there that could kill her, and no one has to leave Winterfell for her to do it. So anyway, Arya does not plan on coming back to Winterfell, and I've always thought that Arya would return to Braavos, to the House of Black and White, like the last scene with Arya is her knocking back on the door of the House of Black and White. But there's also a part of me that thinks that she will travel the world, and she will eventually find out what is west of Westeros. So Rhaegal is hurt. It's hard for him to fly. Breathe. Oh my God. Breathe. So Jon is getting ready to leave Winterfell, and he tells Tormund bye. And he tells Sam bye, and Gilly's pregnant. This could be their final goodbye. And then Ghost. Jesus. Jon gives Ghost to Tormund, and Ghost is whimpering when Jon leaves, and Jon just doesn't deserve Ghost at this point. Like, he just doesn't. He doesn't deserve Ghost. He doesn't deserve Rhaegal. Like, Ghost is missing, like, half of his face. His whole ear is gone. Rhaegal is all wounded. All of this for your war, and you just don't even, like, pat him on the head like, good boy. None of that. None of that. So it's just like, I don't fucking understand. So on the ship, clearly Sansa told Tyrion and Tyrion told Varys about Jon. Now, Sansa told Tyrion purposely because Sansa knew that Tyrion would tell Varys and that information would start to circulate because Sansa is 10 steps ahead like Littlefinger. And if you don't believe me, just watch the Inside the Episode. D&D say it themselves. Tyrion is clearly Team Daenerys, and Varys is Team Jon. Surprise, surprise. Varys has this whole thing about he serves the realm and all of this. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't. Let me tell you about Varys. Varys says that he serves the realm. His track record would say that is a lie. Varys served the Mad King, Daenerys' father, and when Rhaegar realized his father's mental state was deteriorated beyond repair, it is alleged that Rhaegar staged the tourney of Harrenhal in order to secretly meet with great houses to see if he could win their support to overthrow his father. It was Varys who heard about this, found out about this, Master of Whispers, and Varys told this plan to the Mad King, and that's why the Mad King showed up at the tourney of Harrenhal to spoil everything. In the books, Varys is actively trying to put a boy on the throne disguised as Rhaegar's son, Aegon. Aegon is Phaegon. I do not think Aegon is really Rhaegar's son. Varys has been plotting against Robert for years, raising a secret child, Aegon or Phaegon. In the books, Kevin Lannister has brought peace to the realm under Tommen Baratheon. Tommen as king and Kevin Lannister as hand is a good match for the realm. Also, Cersei is nowhere in this equation. Kevin Lannister wants nothing to do with Cersei, but Varys kills him. This is what Varys said. "This pains me, my lord. You do not deserve to die alone on such a cold, dark night. There are many like you, good men in service to bad causes, but you were threatening to undo all the queen's good work, to reconcile Highgarden and Casterly Rock, bind the faith to your little king, unite the 7 kingdoms under Tommen's rule. So, a gust of wind blew up. Sir Kevin shivered violently. I thought the crossbow fitting. You shared so much with Lord Tywin. Why not that? Your niece will think the Tyrells had you murdered, mayhaps with the connivance of the imp. The Tyrells will suspect her. Someone somewhere will find a way to blame the Dornishmen. Doubt, division, and mistrust will eat the very ground beneath your boy king, whilst Aegon raises his banner above Storm's End, and the lords of the realm gather around him." So the show changed this bit, right? They changed this to Qyburn killing Pycelle, but in the books, Varys kills Pycelle and Kevin Lannister because he doesn't want Tommen to be king. He has an entire other person, Phaegon, that he wants to be king, and this plot has been going on since Robert's rebellion. I have a 2-part series on this if you want to try to understand Varys' motives a little better. Varys conspiring against Daenerys is expected. Everyone has an idea of who or what a monarch should be. Kevin Lannister had checked Cersei, put her in her place, and basically turned her over to the High Sparrow to do with what he had to do. His hands were tied and he was done with her. And Varys changed that to make the 7 kingdoms ripe for Phaegon. So no, Varys does not serve the people. So he says he doesn't want Daenerys to burn down King's Landing. She doesn't want to either, but she may have no choice. The people are going to die anyway if Cersei starves them to death. Also, Varys had no issue with the way that Robert and Tywin stormed the city and sacked because he served them after that. So I don't see why he's becoming so high and mighty now. However, Tyrion seems surprisingly loyal. He believes in Dany. I believe in Daenerys. She gets so much shit about being a mad queen. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Daenerys isn't now, nor is she ever becoming a mad queen. The mad queen in this scenario, in this show, is Cersei Lannister, and only Cersei Lannister. Rhaegal gets shot down with an arrow from Euron Greyjoy, and it's just like, why? Why, bro? Why? Daenerys is she's just full of rage, and she wants to kill him, and she starts charging for him, but she checks it, knowing that she's putting herself and Drogon in danger. I was waiting for her to light Euron up, but she didn't, and that's fortunate. It's really fortunate that she didn't, because if she hadn't checked that impulse, her and Drogon would be dead. Now, I know we saw a lot of blood coming out of Rhaegal, but Cersei asked Euron if he was sure the dragon died, and he said, "I saw it fall in the water." But we technically don't know if he's dead. I mean, he could wash up on the shores of Dragonstone, severely wounded and dying. I don't know. That's basically just what I hope. Like, I just hope that Rhaegal comes back as, like, Patchface. Anyway, Jaime leaves Brienne when he finds out about Cersei's victories. But he's not going there to join Team Cersei. Please don't get it messed up. He's going to kill Cersei. I mean, Bronn has already exposed Cersei's plan to kill Jaime. And Jaime seems to me to be Team Tyrion and Daenerys. All of that shit about Jaime saying he's a bad person and Cersei's a bad person, and basically, like, all of that is bullshit. All of that is bullshit. He wants to go down there to kill her. Jaime knows Daenerys is the best hope for Westeros. He knows Daenerys helped secure the kingdom from the real threat, save the kingdom to win the throne. Then there's this meeting outside the gates of King's Landing. And this. So Qyburn comes to treat with Tyrion. And this is the last ditch effort to save the city. And it doesn't work. At first you think Tyrion is getting through to her, but he doesn't. She's a monster. Cersei is the monster. And don't forget what Tyrion said. Daenerys protects people from monsters. And this time, she couldn't protect her best friend. She couldn't protect her best friend. And the rage in that girl's face. Also, he brings up the baby. And Cersei has just told Euron that this baby is his. Euron is probably like, well, how does the imp know that you're pregnant, Cersei? So Cersei's going to have some questions to answer or not. Depends on if Euron is clever enough to know, or if they even write that part in. This could be the catalyst that causes Euron to fulfill the Valonqar prophecy. I obviously in the books think that is Euron. I think there's also a lot of evidence that it could be Jaime as well, and Jaime is leaving for King's Landing to go be with Cersei. So Cersei kills Missandei, and I wanted to throw my remote at the TV. So Daenerys has lost another dragon and her best friend. Daenerys is filled with rage at this point, and burning King's Landing is probably looking like a good option to her right now. I actually think that she is going to burn King's Landing. Missandei's last words were Dracarys, and she's going to serve Cersei the biggest dish of fire and blood that we've ever seen on television. And when Cersei is surrounded with no escape, someone is going to kill her. Either Jaime, Arya, or Euron. Cersei is going to be a dead woman in the next episode. Also, Daenerys burning King's Landing because the ruthless queen and her pirate just killed her dragon and her best friend sounds like justice to me, not madness. But what do you think? I know there was a lot of hype surrounding episode 3, but I'm thinking episode 5 is going to be a huge, shocking episode, because we have many characters that said their final goodbyes that we're never going to see on screen probably together ever again. There's treachery going on. Jon and Dany are going to be pulled into 2 separate directions, and I just can sense something really tragic about to go down. I've always said, if it was for the people, Daenerys would sacrifice herself, and I'm really hoping that she doesn't have to do it. But I'm not sure that that's not where this is going. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon.
Shame.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please
Shame.
click that subscribe button, hit that notification
Shame.
bell, and join the Sweet Summer
Shame.
family. Okay, my sweet summer children,
Shame.
have a good day.
Shame. Shame. Shame.